Okay, there we go. Good evening. This is the January 15th, 2014 meeting of the Planning Board of the Town of Smithtown, and we'll begin it with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we get to the matters on the agenda, just a couple of items. First, it's a new year, and I would like to appoint Adam Oshrin to my left to continue as the vice chairman. He was vice chairman last year, and I'm going to appoint him as vice chairman this year. I understand it's a standard one-year term, and we'll have Adam as vice chairman. Also, I would like to take a moment and welcome to the board Mr. Conrad Chase Sr., seated all the way to my right. He was recently appointed by the board and by the town board to this board, and he is at his first meeting tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I look forward to working with you and members of the board for the people of Smithtown.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also one other item, I'm going to go skip down to other matters. Number 15, appointment of counsel. Our counsel has been Lucretia Lucevero, and it's agreed by everyone that we want her to continue as counsel. So I will need a motion from someone to have her reappointed as counsel. And I believe it's for, is it for 1 year, Frank?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we reappoint Lucretia Lucevero as counsel to the Planning Board.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, nobody opposed? It's unanimous.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The first item on the agenda this evening, the Planning Department recommends the following items for adjournment as we have insufficient information to act upon them. Under Part 1 on your agenda, Item 1, 2011-01, All Seasons Motor Lodge. Item 2, 2012-04, Storybook Homes. Item 3, 2012-02, Carlson Associates. Item 4, 2009-05, FB4 Realty. Item 5, 1152, Map of Larson Avenue Plat. Item 6, 773, Scholar Estates. Item 7, 1092, Winston's Run. Item 8, 1139, Jenna Court. Item 9, 288, Olivia Estates. And under Part 2, Item 10, 2010-06, KVC Holdings. Item 11, Case 911A, Glen Hill Northern. Mr. Chairman, these are the items the Planning Department recommends for adjournment this evening.
Is there anybody here that wishes to be heard on any of the items that were just read that are recommended for adjournment by the Planning Department? Hearing no one, ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that items 1 through 11 as read be adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 0. Unanimous? 0 adjourned.
Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda under Part 3, Item 12 is a waiver request from Mystic Falls 1094. The applicant is requesting a performance bond reduction of $250,000 from his $317,50,000 bond while he completes the required paperwork. Additionally, the applicant's request to waive conditions F and G of final subdivision approval of June 20, 2007, requiring the applicant to submit site plans and as-built surveys for that lot in order to be released from his performance bond while leaving 4 of the 6 lots vacant. The map of Mystic Falls was granted conditional final approval by the Planning Board on June 20, 2007. This application was for a 6-lot clustered subdivision on 16.65 acres with 9.19 acres dedicated to the town and 2.16 acres to be maintained by a homeowners association. To date, 2 of the 6 homes on lots 2 and 4 have been constructed, and all of the public improvements have been completed. Lots 1, 3, 5, and 6 are currently vacant. The applicant is seeking to reduce the amount of the performance bond by $250,000 to $67,050 while he completes the homeowner's agreement for the town attorney's approval. The property owner's agreement is required to determine the maintenance of the private road, common areas, and scenic easements. The $250,000 reduction of the performance bond would leave the applicant bonded for the remainder of $67,50 while the homeowner's agreement is completed. Additionally, the applicant requests to waive conditions F and G of final subdivision approval, which state: F, Prior to the time of subdivision of an application for a building permit for a particular lot, the subdivider shall have his engineer or surveyor submit an individual site plan of that lot, which is in substantial agreement with the intent of the approved regrading plan. Such individual site plan shall show certified existing topography and all relevant grades proposed for the street, house, and all land to be regraded on that lot. This site plan shall also show all storm pools, dry wells, retaining walls, etc., as bonded or as deemed additionally necessary. Such site plans must be approved by the engineering department and returned to the building inspector prior to the issuance of a permit for the foundation and garage slab only. And G, at such time the subdivider has completed the foundation and rough grading for a particular lot, he shall have his engineer or surveyor make an as-built survey of the foundation grade, garage slab grade, and grades immediately around the foundation. Such as-built foundation must be approved by the engineering department, and no framing shall commence before this approval. These conditions for site plans and as-built surveys can only be satisfied when all homes are constructed. The applicant has indicated he intends to leave these 4 of the 6 lots vacant for the time being and would like to have his performance bond released before these lots are developed. If these reductions and waivers are approved, once the town attorney approves the homeowner's agreement, the applicant would be able to be released from the remaining $6,750 of the performance bond with 4 vacant lots. The engineering, highway, and traffic safety departments have no objection to the applicant's request. At such time as the vacant lots 1, 3, 5, and 6 are developed, the builder will be required to post a bond for any required improvements and submit the appropriate documents to the building and engineering departments. Therefore, the planning department has no objection to these requests. The planning department offers the following resolutions for the board's consideration. Be it resolved that the planning board hereby approves the request of James Fox, doing business as Woods Edge Property LLC, to reduce the $317.50 performance bond for the subdivision known as Mystic Falls, number 1094, in the amount of $250,000, so the applicant remains bonded for the remaining balance of $67,050. And be it further resolved that the planning board hereby approves the request of James Fox, doing business as Woods Edge Property LLC, to waive conditions F and G of final approval for lots 1, 3, 5, and 6, requiring the applicant to submit site plans and as-built surveys for that lot, subject to the following conditions. A. Prior to the issuance of a building permit for these lots, the builder will be bonded for any required public or private improvements deemed necessary by the engineering department. And B. At such time as these lots are developed, the builder will be required to submit individual site plans and as-built surveys of the foundation grade as required by the engineering department.
Is there anybody present on behalf of the applicant?
Donald King, 75 East Main Street, Kings Park, New York. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to you. I'd ask that you go forward with the recommendation by the Planning Department and Frank. Mr. Fox has put up cash, which is an unusual situation, and he'd like to get that $250 back.
Okay, so you've heard the comments and the recommendations and your
They're all
agreement?
fine.
Okay.
In agreement.
Anybody here that wishes to be heard on this application? None? Any questions from any members of the board to the applicant's attorney? Okay, we need 2 resolutions on this?
Yes.
Okay, the first resolution, I need a motion regarding the reduction of the performance bond.
Regarding the performance bond reduction in the matter of Mystic Falls number 1094, motion to adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? The motion carries unanimously. The resolution is adopted. And now we need another motion for the waiver of conditions.
Regarding the waiving of conditions F and G in the matter of Mystic Falls number 1094, motion to adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? The motion carries unanimously. The resolution is adopted. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda under Part 3, Item 13, is an extension of conditional final approval for Maloney Estates number 1096. The applicant is requesting a retroactive 90-day extension and 2 additional 90-day extensions of the conditional final approval in order to obtain more time to comply with the requirements of posting the performance bond and filing the map. The map of Maloney Estates was granted conditional final approval by the Planning Board on April 18, 2012. The map was not signed and filed with the Suffolk County Clerk by the October 15, 2012 deadline due to difficulties in obtaining a certificate of occupancy for an existing dwelling. on June 5th, 2013, the board granted the applicant a retroactive 180-day extension and an additional 90-day retroactive extension. The applicant is requesting additional retroactive extensions because the map was not filed by the July 12th, 2013 deadline. The applicant has indicated they will be submitting a complete performance bond and dedication package and are prepared to file the subdivision map in the near future. The Planning Department has no objection to the applicant's request. The Planning Department offers the following resolutions for the board's consideration. Be it resolved that the Planning Board hereby grants a retroactive 90-day extension of time to the conditional final approval for the subdivision known as Map of Maloney Estates 1096, beginning July 12, 2013 through October 12, 2013. And be it further resolved that the Planning Board hereby grants an additional retroactive 90-day extension of time to the conditional final approval for the subdivision known as Map of Maloney Estates 1096, beginning October 12, 2013 through January 12, 2014. And be it further resolved that the Planning Board hereby grants an additional retroactive 90-day extension of time to the conditional final approval for the subdivision known as Map of Maloney Estates 1096, beginning January 12, 2014 through April 12, 2014.
Mr. Chairman, on
Yes,
these
sir.
matters, you may combine them or you may vote on them separately.
We
Okay?
can do one resolution?
You could do one resolution on
Okay.
these or vote on them separately.
First, we'll see, is there anybody present on behalf of the applicant? Please come up to the podium and give your name and address.
My name is John Maloney, 25 Lincoln Avenue, Smithtown.
Mr. Maloney, have you heard the comments of the Planning Department and the proposed resolution that they're recommending?
No.
Well, they just read.
Oh, yes.
You're in agreement with that?
I think they gave me the extension? That's what we
Yes.
Okay, yes, I am.
Okay, to the extent that they read it, that's they're giving you the extension. Anybody in the audience have any questions or comments on this matter? None? Any questions from anybody on the board?
Are you still having difficulties with the CO?
I'm sorry,
Are you still having difficulties getting the CO?
one more time.
Are you still having difficulties securing a certificate of occupancy?
No difficulty, we got the bond is already taken care of. Nothing else should be done.
It said the map was not signed and filed with the county clerk previously due to difficulties in obtaining a CO. I assume there's a CO now?
That was for somebody else, not for me. The CO was not including in my, that was removed from the problem was removed. Remember Frank, you said you would remove my neighbor from these, not having a CO and not worrying about it?
No, I'll deal with that separately with your counsel. That has to do with, we'll deal with it. That has nothing to do with filing the map. You could file the map without that issue being resolved.
Okay. I'll talk to Mr. DeMarco tomorrow.
Yes. We're not separating him from the map. The CO issue is still outstanding. He did apply, and we have some issues with that, but that's not going to impede you from filing the map.
Okay.
Frank, you know what the CO issues are? I was just curious as to what might be holding it up.
Well, the applicant, there's two basic categories of issues, one of which we corrected when we approved it, and that was, and what started this off was that the property was illegally subdivided and sold at one time. And what happened was there were dimensional issues with regard to the lot that was created, and that was approved during the subdivision process. What occurred afterwards was that the applicant made improvements to his property, and we require that those items be legalized. The applicant's on notice for that, and we're in the process of clearing them up, and the applicant was instructed to clear them up. And they're having some difficulties with the last remaining stuff, but all the applications for building permits and the like and variances were submitted. Okay?
Any other questions from any other members of the board? Okay, we have an option to treat it as three resolutions or one related resolution. We'll treat it as one related resolution. Therefore, regarding Maloney Estates number 1096, we need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, in regard to Maloney Estates number 1096, I move that we adopt the resolutions in accordance with the recommendation of the board.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries unanimously, and the resolution is adopted.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Our next item appears to be the adoption of the minutes of the November 20th, 2013 meeting. Ask for a motion, please.
Motion to adopt the minutes of the November 20th, 2013 meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? The motion carries unanimously, and the minutes are adopted. And we have the two matters of correspondence. There's nothing that we need to do on those. Those matters will just be rescheduled.
I'll respond. Mr. Chairman, the first matter, which is line 16, case number 2010-10. If the board will recall, the applicant has not provided any information as they were required to at the public hearing, specifically compliance with the health department's requirements. And we had asked the board at the last meeting to send a letter out that if they were not intending to go forth, we would have a denial without prejudice. The board does not have to act on this particular one, but what I'd like permission from the board is to give the applicant a time limit, if that's of consideration, basically 6 months to complete whatever action that he has, and we'll give him a date on that. You don't need a resolution on that one.
Okay.
The second one,
That's your
however-
recommendation. That's fine. Everybody good with that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, the second one, which is, that's a zone change, which was adjourned to formal dates. We have to, because those are matters that are part of the public hearing, if the board is of a mind to grant this, then we will schedule them for the next meeting. We advertise and schedule them.
I have no problem with it. Everybody's okay with that?
Next meeting to adjourn it, you mean?
To adjourn it,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
It has to be done at, because the adjournment was made at a formal meeting, you have to open up a meeting because the public has to be advised of the
It
adjournment.
has to be calendar so that we can adjourn it.
That's correct.
Which,
That-
what was the name of the application in this area that we ruled on and made a recommendation to the town board on? It was about a year ago.
Was it not Matthews? You sure it was in this area? Because,
I thought
think
so.
it was.
no, there was Carlson who submitted, there were several applications. There was F4B Realty
I
and,
think that was it.
well, they actually merged the two actions. And what happened was the applicant is represented by, both applicants are represented by the same attorney. He first requested they combine them the same night because there was one hearing and there was a lot of people that showed up. He then that was F4B, and then he adjourned it. Then Carlson submitted an application, and then he decided to rehear both the same night. Then we adjourned both of them till November, then adjourned them from November to January, and now they're requesting for F4B and for Carlson to adjourn them again for, I believe, to March 5th.
Because I remember at one point you were looking into getting the Smithtown High School or something like that because there were so many people here.
Yes.
Is that this application?
Yes, this is the application,
Okay.
yes. Just to keep the board apprised of what's going on, it's not a secret of any type. Toby Carlson has proposed a solution which is being considered by the town board, and it's being currently evaluated, and we're waiting for our environmental department to give us a finished report on this. But basically what he is proposing for that particular site, and we have to then deal with the zoning issues after that, is he would want to have an indoor solid waste processing facility. This is entirely indoors, completely. That's what it's supposed to be. And it's very similar to what Islip did on Vets Highway with regard to their composting. And what that generally solves is the dust, noise, and odor problem. What the town board is considering right now is the details of how that is going to be implemented, because what we are talking about is a significantly large facility, over 100,000 square feet. The cost of the facility will be in the neighborhood of $40 million. And there will be several zoning issues that would have to be ironed out. We've been going back and forth over this particular proposal, and we had meetings both with the town board on this at work sessions, and then meetings with the applicant, Toby Carlson, and his representatives. And what has really happened was we came up with a series of recommendations for the town board that are currently being assessed by the environmental department, and they're due to be released. We had hoped to be released before Christmas, but we expect them now to be released this month. I'll be happy to forward them to this board, since this is a zone change matter. It's that of some consideration. I would just tell you that it's not a simple question, because it depends upon what solid waste is going to be processed. You start off with wood products, simple. You then add leaves, it becomes more complicated. You then add grass and other items, it becomes more and more complicated. And then there an issue. This is not my area of expertise, but there are two types, evidently, of composting that occur indoors: aerobic and anaerobic. And one deliberately produces methane, and which is an energy producing. The other one just producing a form of composting. So, and then there's combinations of processes between the two. That's what's causing the delay, because we're trying to evaluate what we can do short of an environmental impact statement and what would require an environmental impact statement.
Okay?
Okay?
So regarding the applicant's attorney's letters on both Carlson and FB4 Realty of January 7th, those matters are going to be calendared at the next meeting so they can be adjourned to March 5th.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine. And I think that's it.
That's it.
Okay, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion, meeting is adjourned.